Hello, everyone. Tonight, I am going to tell you a story that still sends chills down my spine every time I think about it. It all started on a cold, rainy evening when I was alone at home. My parents had gone out for dinner, and I decided to stay back and watch some horror movies. The house was quiet, except for the faint sound of thunder echoing outside. I remember wrapping myself in a blanket, holding a cup of coffee, when suddenly, my phone rang. At first, I thought it was one of my friends calling to chat, but when I looked at the screen, the number was unknown. I hesitated for a moment before answering. "Hello?" I said softly. There was silence. I could only hear faint breathing on the other end. I waited a few seconds before saying, "Hello?" again, but this time the call disconnected. I brushed it off, thinking maybe it was a wrong number, but a few minutes later the phone rang again. Same unknown number. My heart started to race. I answered again, trying to sound brave. "Who is this?" I asked. This time a voice whispered, "I can see you." My blood ran cold. I froze, my eyes darting around the room. The curtains were drawn, but I could still feel someone's eyes on me. "Who are you?" I shouted, but the line went dead again. I tried to calm myself, telling my mind it was probably a prank. But the air felt different now, heavy, suffocating. I turned off the TV and walked toward the window. I gently pulled the curtain aside and looked out into the street. It was empty, just the rain falling steadily under the streetlight. I was about to turn away when I noticed something. A dark figure standing across the street, completely still. My heart pounded as I blinked, thinking maybe it was just a shadow, but it wasn't. The figure was facing my house. I stepped back slowly, terrified. My phone buzzed again, another message from the same number. It said, "Don't close the window." My hands trembled as I quickly shut the curtains and backed away. I wanted to call the police, but before I could, the phone rang again. I answered, voice shaking. "What do you want?" I said. The voice replied, "I told you not to close the window." That's when I heard it. The sound of the front door creaking open. My heart dropped. I lived on the second floor, and there was no way someone could get in without a key. I grabbed a kitchen knife and slowly walked toward the stairs, every step feeling heavier than the last. The lights began to flicker, and I could hear footsteps coming closer. I hid behind the wall near the staircase, trying to control my breathing. The footsteps stopped right at the bottom of the stairs. I could hear the sound of someone's slow, deep breathing. I was about to scream when my phone buzzed again. I looked down, and the message read, "Don't make a sound." I wanted to run, but fear had me frozen. Then, I heard the steps moving up, one at a time, creaking slowly, as if whoever it was wanted me to hear every movement. I gripped the knife tighter, my hands shaking. When the footsteps stopped just outside the room, I saw the doorknob turn slightly. I couldn't breathe. I raised the knife, ready to defend myself, when suddenly my phone rang again. The ringtone shattered the silence. I panicked and dropped the phone. The door flung open. I screamed and swung the knife, but there was no one there. The room was empty. My chest was pounding as I looked around in confusion. The rain outside had stopped, and everything felt eerily calm again. I picked up my phone, my hands trembling, and that's when I noticed something that made my blood run cold. The last call was from my own number. Before I could process it, the screen flickered, and my front camera turned on by itself. On the screen, I saw my own terrified reflection. And right behind me, a tall, dark figure, smiling. The phone slipped from my hand as everything went black. When I woke up, I was lying on the living room floor, the phone still beside me. It showed a missed call, again, from my own number. My parents found me the next morning, shaking and pale. I told them everything, but when they checked the call history, there were no unknown calls, no messages, nothing. Since that night, I keep my phone turned off after dark. But sometimes, even when it's off, I swear I can still hear it ringing. And deep down, I know that voice is still waiting for me to answer.